Hello, welcome to our podcast, episode 89 on Half-Life VR, but the AI are self-aware and also the gnome is too aware. But I'll probably have to shorten into the title neatly somehow. Um, but yeah, welcome to this episode where I will talk about two of the things Wayne Radio TV has made. I believe I did do an episode on Wayne Radio TV, so I might have discussed, these already a little bit, but I guess that this will be hopefully more in depth than that episode. It's been, a while for me between those episodes, so I honestly have no idea why I said in that episode, but yeah. Talk about the two big projects they've done so far. So one is Half-Life VR, but the AI are self-aware. So it still has a joke thing, like no one probably, expected, how big it would become, and how fast, it would grow. So Act 1 is like a lot less serious and more just funny, random stuff, but there's, the beginning of elements of what the story would be. So yeah, that that the story wasn't really planned, and it was basically improv, similar to my series. Obviously it's probably been a big inspiration for my series, but honestly I do my own things. But um, and only sometimes am I in Half-Life, but later in Half-Life VR things become less Half-Life like in Act 2 it's still mainly the same, but it's getting closer to like the to beginning of a tipping point, things are starting to really go on, in Act 2, although none of the major events don't really happen till Act 3. It it's still, progressing, the story. And then Act 3 is, when things start to change, when Gordon loses his arm, and yeah, things are starting to hit their tipping point, and then Act 4 is basically absolute absurdum, at that point, you know, with the ending and, the fight against Benry and all that, Act 4 is where everything, hits the wall, and yeah, and I like the characters, Bobby, Tommy, Kuma, Benry, Gordon, they're all, good characters. Sunkissed, Frozen, you know, Donald, uh, they're all, cool, and yeah. So yeah, and obviously the end line is, goodbye, Gordon, which, we'll get back to. Then there's the um, uh, half-life AI, rob the banks, which who knows if it's actually, canon or not, but that they robbed the banks and Tommy got stolen by the US military, and um, they saved or not saved Tommy. Who knows? It's kind of a mystery. It's kind of a Schrodinger's cat situation where they both did and did not save Tommy, and you know, it who knows if those events are canon or not, but yeah, that's extra Half-Life VR AI content. If you've never seen it, you know, um, and then there's the gnome. The gnome who's a bit too self-aware. So, it's also, I think, in 4 acts, I believe. I could be wrong. It has been a little while since I watched it. I'm just trying to find it now. But yeah, I think it's also in 4 acts, or is it 3 acts for the gnome? I can't remember. Come on, where is it? Yeah, it's also in 4 acts. So, in Act 1, it starts off, with, Wayne questioning if the gnome is actually, you know, self-aware, or not. As, as you go on into Act 1, it seems like it is self-aware, and that definitely escalates more in, like, Act 2, really, like, the dynamic, starts to form between them, and certain, jokes that, starting to be made that would be reoccurring. And then, Act 3 is, building up, even more, of that duo. But things don't get, like, really interesting. Like, the really unique stuff of the gnome doesn't happen until, like, Act 4, when, like, a whole bunch of new stuff appears, like the blue gnome, the commentary notes with game lore, and yeah, like Act 4 is where it really gets crazy, building up to the end, which ends up basically in the same way as Half-Life VR, but they're self-aware, where the final basically thing from the gnome is goodbye, Gordon, because in the series the gnome calls Wayne Gordon, even though it's so can't speak, even though it's supposed to be Alex, uh, because it's Half-Life Alex, the gnome calls Wayne Gordon, and yeah. So yeah, it's very fitting that it ended in a similar fashion. So yeah, it's like the ending of like Alan Wake 1 and 2. Like first there was it's not a lake, it's an ocean, and then it's not a loop, it's a spiral. Like basically the same line, just slightly altered. But for though these two series, it's the exact same line, just a slightly different context. So yeah. But yeah, it's both are cool series. I definitely, recommend checking them out if you haven't seen them already. There's also a series kind of similar to Half-Life VR, but they are self-aware. Well, not really a series, more like a long video. Where some people um, um, are playing through Half-Life, like doing characters, and I forget what it was called. Um, um, oh yeah, Half-Life Full Regret by Lithro, Lithro. I'll just um link it, the video, in the description, and goddamn ads, and um let also link the channel, but it's very similar, like style to very similar style to um Half-Life VR, but they are self-aware. It's only like 50 minutes, and it feels longer than 50 minutes, like when watching through it, because it's like it's through the whole first Half-Life game. So it feels longer than 50 minutes, but it's only 50 minutes. It's kind of weird, but yeah. Half-Life Full Regret is, another series that you should check out if you do like, Half-Life VR. They are self-aware, the gnome is too aware. Like, yeah, it's another one similar. So yeah, definitely highly recommend. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this our podcast. So thank you all for watching, and peace until next time.